Hi guys, I look forward to watching all your videos and getting to meet you. My name is Madison Stewart, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about myself. I am a third generation teacher in my family. I have several teachers that I look up to, and it's something that I've always wanted to do since I was little. I love teaching kids and peers. One of the first times I taught someone something was at the outdoor swimming pool when I was probably 5 or 6. I helped one of my friends learn how to float on her back. And ever since then, I've kind of known that I wanted to be a teacher. Here are a couple pictures of me with my nephew, Xavier. I also have another nephew on the way, and we spend lots of time together, and I really enjoy him, and I always want to include him on my introductory videos. Here's a little bit about myself. I love The Bachelor. I love all reality TV, especially The Housewives. I am a very active person. I enjoy biking, running, pickleball, basketball. There's a couple of pictures of me, one finishing a triathlon and one of me finishing a 5K. Something that I really enjoy and try to advocate for in my classroom is being active and healthy. I love to coach basketball. I also was supposed to coach track this year, but with COVID, I didn't get to do that. I enjoy reading. I try to read as many books as I can. Especially now with COVID, it's been a lot easier to sit down and actually enjoy a book compared to trying to run around and do as many things as I can. I also enjoy traveling. There's a couple of pictures of me with my boyfriend. We've been to Jamaica and then one of us with a waterfall in Colorado. A little bit about my background. I was born and raised in Burlington, Kansas. I went to Burlington High School and then went on to Ottawa University, where I got a degree in physical education, and I also played basketball there. I then went on to Emporia High School. I have just finished my third year. Something kind of interesting and unique about my job is I'm in the PE department, but I teach aquatics. So I take all the freshmen into the swimming pool, and then I also have elective classes of swimming. I also teach pathway classes for Flint Hills Tech for CPR and first aid, and then I also certify students to become lifeguards. I just accepted a new job at Jackson Heights. I've always wanted to get more in the PE side of things compared to aquatics. So I was looking into new directions and opportunities, and I landed in Jackson Heights. So in August, I'll begin teaching 7 through 12 PE and weights. And I will also be coaching middle school basketball and track for sure, and possibly volleyball. My overall goal is to become an athletic director in a small school where I can continue to coach and possibly teach in that school. Communication. I try to communicate as well as I can and lead by example with my students. I think that they spend a lot of their time communicating via technology. I try to communicate with the students and parents as much as I can over the phone or face to face at school. So my number one form of communication with my students and parents would be Google Classroom. They're on the Google Classroom as students, and then their parents are invited to kind of see what we're doing and see if they're staying up to date with their work. The second form, which is right up there with Google Classroom, would be email. I email tons of people in the community when I need help with project-based learning activities, or if I'm needing to borrow something from the Emporia Rec Center. I have reached out to many different people to help me in that situation, either by the phone or by email. Phone would be next. Trying to talk to someone over email can kind of get misconstrued. So if it's something really important that I need to be able to voice my opinion over the phone, I would use that with parents if I want to share something that their child has done really well, or if I need help with a behavior problem or their grades are not as good as they should be. And then GroupMe is my last form of communication. With my career and academic planning class, I used GroupMe to remind them of drives. Like we've had a food drive. Hey, don't forget to bring a can of food tomorrow if you can. Or kind of reminders, especially during COVID. I know these kids are using their phone a lot and they don't have their Google Classroom linked up to their email, so they aren't getting notifications. So I would often remind my career and academic planning class that, hey, we're meeting today via Zoom at so and so time. And that seemed to really get them a reminder to get on as much as they can. I have not purchased any forms of communication. I try to use what's free to me, and I think I've done a good job of using those resources. After reading the 3 resources we were given for our quiz, there are 3 things that I kind of was left with. So you're supposed to introduce yourself and use unique experiences. A lot of times, like I did in my first slide, I introduced you and kind of gave you a background of how I was a 3rd-generation teacher. And then I went on to more of those mundane things. And that's something that they tell you you shouldn't do. Leave your comfort zone. Be willing to share something about yourself that kind of makes you unique and could possibly scare you. And then use a story. By using a story, you're more often to be remembered by whoever you are speaking to. I use the district policies from Emporia High School because that's what I was familiar with. I have looked at those and been able to use them to my advantage. So be respectful and appropriate. I try to only speak and respond to emails during those school hours, an hour before, an hour after. I don't try to respond to anything late at night. And then if it's something very touchy or a parent is upset and they've sent me an email, I try to wait 24 hours before I respond, just kind of let me cool down if it's something I'm passionate about, and then also let them cool down a little bit. And that seems to be very helpful in situations where a parent is upset about something. We are supposed to use district technology to respond. So our district email, district phone, we're not supposed to use our personal phone to call home if we can avoid it. During COVID, that was hard to do. I spent a lot of time using email, but I also spent a lot of time calling home. We are such a large school, and it was hard to get a hold of parents and really let them know how their child was doing in my class. So I did have to use my personal phone for that in that circumstance. And then we're only supposed to use social media for supplemental classroom support and to promote communication. We are not supposed to add anyone on Facebook that is a future student or a current student. I always tell my students, if you want to be my friend on Facebook, you have to graduate first, and then you can send that request, and I'll decide if I want to be connected with you through Facebook or social media. My Twitter is open to everyone. I use it mainly for basketball, leadership post. I use it very appropriately for what I do as a teacher. So there's a little bit about myself and kind of about how I communicate with others. And I really look forward to watching all your videos and getting to know you.